Hello, welcome to MTG Pro Tutor. I'm Sean Pennard, your host, and we're going to open this M15 booster pack and evaluate the cards inside. Let's dive right in and see what we would do if we were drafting. So, the first thing I always do when I open up a booster pack is I always take out the marketing card and the land card. I'll toss those aside. Oh, we got a token today. That's very cool. And I always look at the rare first. It is Mercurial Pretender. So this was actually the blue promo card when M15 had the M15 pre-release. So what he is for 5 mana, you have Mercurial Pretender enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature you control, except it gains 2 blue, return this creature to its owner's hand. So that's the clincher there. For 5 mana, you can copy a creature you control, and then for 4 mana, you can bring it back and then cast it again, right? I don't like the fact that it is creature you control, because once you get to 5 mana, I mean, what else is there that's worth copying, right? Or you can hang on to this and he can copy one of your bombs, sure, but you're going to need to get that bomb out. You see what I'm saying? So, now take this with a grain of salt, because I have not drafted Mercurial Pretender yet, and I actually have not seen him used on the battlefield yet. So I am interested to see how he plays out, and but my initial impression is I'm not that impressed. So let's see what else this pack has to offer. We'll keep him in mind as we go through and compare the cards in this pack. So Infernal Fist, this is great. For 2 mana, you give a creature +2/+0, and then for 1 red mana, you can sack it to deal 2 damage to target creature or player. So this is trying to get around the fact that you can get 2 for 1 and lose the value of your enchantment. The idea is you put this on your card, and when that creature dies or gets targeted by your opponent, you can tap a mana, sacrifice this creature, and still get some, sacrifice this enchantment and still get some utility out of it. You see? So I actually do like it. I think it's one of the better enchantments in this set. Kin's Bale Skirmisher is a 2/2 for 2 mana, so that's already good. And when he enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 to end turn. Fugitive Wizard, terrible. A 1/1 for 1 that doesn't do anything. Pass. 1/1 for 1 is not worth a spot in your deck. Foundry Street Denizen, here we go. Here's another 1/1, but he has an ability. Every time you play a red creature, he gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So you play him on turn 1, on turn 2 you play another red creature. He's a 2/1 that gets to attack on turn 2. You see that? So just much better than the Fugitive Wizard. Still not first picking him, but I will, I'll play him if I'm in an aggressive red deck that needs to fill out my lower end. Necromancer's Assistant is a 3/1 for 3 mana, and you have to mill 3 when he enters the battlefield. Hunt the Weak for 4 mana, you give a creature you control +1/+1, then you fight target creature you don't control. So this is green's answer at removing. Fighting's nice because you deal damage to each other, and then that creature dies and you still can't attack. So you're able to kind of clear out some pesky blocker by fighting them. Mind Rot, if you're into that kind of thing, for 3 mana you can make your opponent discard 2 cards. They get to choose what it is. Radiant Fountain gives you 2 life and taps for 1 mana. The problem with this is that it screws up your mana base. All right, you're going to need those color mana to get your colored spells out. So including this in your deck is risking throwing off your mana base. For what? For 2 life? Life gain in and of itself is not worth screwing up your mana base. Sated Wayfinder lets you go digging for a land. It's a 1/1 for 2 mana, and you reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You get a land, the rest go into your graveyard. Sign in Blood. So here you go. This is a good black card. Target player draws 2 cards and you lose 2 life, and loses 2 life. Sorry. So you can target yourself. You can target your opponent. On that rare occasion where your opponent is down at 2 life, you can make them do it. But most of the time you're going to cast it on yourself because 2 cards is worth 2 life. So our first uncommon, Feast on the Fallen. At the beginning of each upkeep, if an opponent lost life last turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So each upkeep, that could be so this is actually really good in multiplayer games now that I think about it. So each upkeep you look to see if any opponent lost a life. If they did, then you get one of your creatures get +1/+1. So this is actually great in multiplayer. Not so much in limited, but great in multiplayer. I'm not going to first pick it. Staff of the Death Magus. We've talked about these cards before. They're only really good if your opponent is playing aggressive burn, like direct burn spells, direct damage spells. Other than that, I'm not gonna pick it, so I'm gonna pass it and let it get shipped to me, and I will sideboard it. I will not main deck it. All right, All Talk Bloodseeker is a 2/1 for 2 mana, and whenever a creature an opponent control dies, All Talk Bloodseeker gets +2/+0 and gains first strike and haste. So, if you really want this guy to have haste on the turn he comes in, you have to play it and then still have the mana to kill something before you enter combat, and then you can enter, and then this guy can come on in as a 4/1 first striker. So that's kind of nice. Basically, every turn you want to try and kill something in your first main phase, so that he gets, so it becomes a 4/1 first strike. So that'd be kind of nice. Killing something at instant speed. Anyway, so there we have it. This is a very interesting pack. Nothing was really like, oh, pick me, pick me. So we have the Mercurial Pretender, the All-Type Bloodseeker, Feast on the Fallen. I don't think is first pickable. Sign of Blood's all right. No. Yeah, wow, Inferno Fist. So the top cards are the Pretender, the Bloodseeker, and the Inferno Fist. Out of these cards, I would first pick the Pretender. Which says something about this pack, because I wasn't very excited about this card, and I ended up first picking it anyways, because in my opinion the pack is pretty weak. So we'll take the Mercurial Pretender and then hope for the best. Staying open means picking the best card regardless of color, understanding that you're not always going to end up in that color. So thanks so much for watching this video. You're awesome for taking the time to do so. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. This was a hard pack to go through. What do you think? What do you think the best card is? I'm Sean Penrod, and we'll see you in the next pack.